Let's cross over to the DCI, as details of the arrest of NASA strategist David Ndii have started to emerge, with his wife, who was staying with him at the Leopard Beach Hotel, confirming that police pounced on him outside the hotel. Let's listen in to Enock Sikolia, who can bring us an update from the DCI. What is happening there, Enock?
Thank you so very much, Smriti Vidyarthi. Indeed, right now what we can tell you is that David Ndii, Dr. David Ndii, is still being questioned by the DCI detectives, but we understand that the police are likely to prefer charges of incitement to violence to Dr. David Ndii. There are several issues they're looking at. Mostly his call for secession of some part of the country, whereby he drew a map saying that given the outcome of the election and how the election was conducted and the electoral injustices that were, he says, that were witnessed, Kenya needs to secede. And what we have learned right now is that the police, the detectives, are quoting several TV shows that he appeared in, calling for secession, and they say that that amounted to incitement to violence. Remember, just on Saturday, Dr. Ndii issued a statement saying that the opposition will go to all miles to ensure that the electoral injustices that were witnessed are corrected, and that he was pushing for the formation of the People's Assembly that will in turn champion the swearing in of Raila Odinga on the 12th of December. So what we have learned right now, what we are getting right now, is that the police preferring charges of incitement to violence to Dr. Ndii, but remember, he's being represented inside there with lawyer James Orengo, who is the senator for Siaya County. There is also Edwin Sifuna, who vied for Nairobi senatorial seat, but is also a lawyer. So as you can see, I can just show you the picture outside here. These are lawyers and members of parliament from the NASA coalition. We are seeing Otiende Amollo, who is the member for Arieda constituency and the lawyer. We also seeing Norman Magaya, the CEO of the NASA coalition. We are also seeing Mwangi. We are seeing David Mwangi. We move. So they are coming outside here. Probably we would like to talk to them. They're moving close to us, so we will talk to them. They'll probably tell us the correct position from inside here, the DCI. Here is Otiende Amollo, the member of parliament for Arieda constituency.
Did you manage to see him? What are the police saying?
Well, first, as you can see, that we are a team of members of parliament and lawyers who have come here on account of the arrest of David Ndii. The police restricted the number of lawyers who could go in, and so they allowed only 2, but we've been in communication. And we have learned that they're planning to charge him with incitement, apparently for some interview he may have done in one of the stations. The indication is that they're likely to present the charges this afternoon, and so we expect to be in court. We expect, as usual, to make the necessary applications for bail, and we expect that incitement being one of the list of charges you can imagine, we expect that the judiciary, being independent and all, would grant him appropriate bail. We understand that there might be 2 such counts. That is what we know for now. So our expectation is that at around 2 p.m. He's likely to be presented in Milimani Court for the reading of the charges, and then we will take it from there. So right now, Senator Orengo and Advocate Sifuna are still with him, and we will be going there in advance, and we expect that they will come and accompany him as we'll be going to Milimani. Yes.
The other lawyers have been arguing that his rights were violated. When was he arrested? When was he brought to Nairobi? Had the interrogation started before the lawyers were allowed to get access?
I think that it is clear, and I think even you have covered this in terms of the media, so social media and the formal media. It is very strange action. First of all, you know that David Ndii and his wife were holidaying at the coast, and they apparently the complaints they are talking about are issues that arose months ago. If they had any issue, one, ordinarily you would invite someone and tell them you invite them to come and record a statement. That never happened. Secondly, you don't wait for somebody to leave Nairobi to go to Mombasa, then you go and pounce on them, especially when he's with the family. It is obviously intended to rain terror on him and the family. Thirdly, why you'd go to an hotel room and start searching an hotel room? If you thought anybody had anything, surely you'd perhaps get a warrant and then approach them in their house or their offices. But more importantly, to arrest someone in Mombasa, sneak them overnight to Nairobi is part of the torture. So you can see that the idea is not quite the charges. The idea is the intimidation around it. And that is what is highly regrettable, because that is not acceptable under the law. Under the law, for you to do a search, it is very clear, you must have a search warrant. Under the law, if you want to interrogate anyone, you must read to them their right. You must tell them they have the right to have a lawyer. It is clear that all up to this time, he did not have access to a lawyer. And under the law, you do not detain people for charges that you had already framed. All you do is you notify them if you think you have a sustainable charge, and you invite them to come to court on a given date and time. So it is clear that the whole circumstances is supposed to intimidate. It's not just about the charges. Yes.
Okay, the charges that have been preferred by the police to Dr. Ndii, are they, from your own view, are they linked to NASA's plans for the 12th of December?
Well, I think you all know that Dr. David Ndii is at the center as part of the 7-member team, and so your guess is as good as mine on that matter. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Smriti. You've just heard from Otiende Amollo, who is the Member of Parliament for Ariada constituency. He says that the number of lawyers that were allowed into the interrogation room were limited to 2, and so those representing Dr. Ndii here at the DCI, as I said earlier, Edwin Sifuna and James Orengo, the Senator for Siaya County. So we have just heard, and he has just confirmed what I had told you earlier, that indeed the police are preferring charges of incitement to violence to Dr. Ndii, and they are quoting a show he appeared in, and they say that when he was agitating for secession, he made statements that amounted to incitement. And remember, Dr. Ndii has been at the forefront when NASA was calling for secession of part of Kenya. From here, the DCI, back to you, Smriti.
All right, Enoch, thanks very much indeed for that update.